Hello Gemini, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. If you are new here, we are here for you, embracing you with open arms and giving you nothing but love. This is a safe, non-judgmental space, so feel free to be your most authentic self, be it more light, more dark, more neutral, wherever you are. Come as you are, but I just pray that you leave better than you came, and that the messages that are meant for you at this time find you well and you're able to do the most with them in this season that you find yourself in. Okay, wishing you nothing but the best. If these readings do happen to resonate, this one in particular, of course, because you've clicked on this particular video, then do give me a thumbs up, but also subscribe and turn that bell notification on so that you are made aware as soon as I upload a video. How is everybody doing? Seven of Cups. Not that well. You guys are confused. You guys are disillusioned. Some of you guys are living in a state of pick me, right? Like people pleasing because you want to be chosen. You want to be the one. You want to be valued. Here, Chris that hounds you, you guys have the Four of Coins. Some of you guys, you might be apartment hunting, searching here with the Seven of Cups and this Four of Coins, and you just have no darn idea where you want to live. There's pros and cons to every place that you visited. One thing though, 7 places is too many to look at. I would say anything over 4 would be too much for you. So like if you have children here, or you're living with other like cohabitants and you're trying to be people pleasing in that way because you want to make sure that where you live serves everybody well, if they're children, I understand that, but then just solely look in the school district that you know that you want your child to be in, right? Start there first so that you can narrow down the search, and it'll make it a little bit easier as well. I used to work in the leasing industry, so here's some tidbits. Look for the place also that gives you good incentives, but also ask for their occupancy and start to look at the reviews for the people that have lived there for some years so that you can see beyond what you're being told and make the best decision that way. You know what I'm saying? Is it more important to be close by restaurants? Or is it more important that you have peace of mind and you're kind of like out of the city limits? Like, do you want the convenience of being close to your job, or can you sacrifice that and commute? You know what I mean? If that means that you get the better deal as far as incentives are concerned. So if you get 2 months free rent, and also ask if you can prorate that throughout your lease term, because then you could take that balance of that 2 months rent. Say it's like your rent is $700 a month nowhere in America, but like as an example, that just means that you get $1,400 free money. So then you can divide that by 12 or 15, whatever your lease term is, and take that balance and subtract it from that $700, which then makes your rent like $500, $400, and then you're able to keep more in your pocket for a rainy day, but for other things, other necessities that you may also need to take care of, especially if you've been out of the cold or you've been homeless for a while. You're just now starting to get back on your feet. You need to look more into those things, okay? That's what's important for you at this time. So yeah, if you're cohabitating with other people though that are the same age as you or older, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are gonna have to find a middle ground. You're gonna have to compromise here. So I feel like that is really on the table for you guys. For others of you, this is all about matters of a relationship and whether or not you want to try to work it out or not, because I feel like you guys just aren't, you're just starting to realize some things that you don't particularly like or care for in this person that you're with. You're starting to look at them like with a side eye. Some things are just questionable. You're starting to see some traits about them, or like some habits about like their hygiene and cleanliness, right? How clean this person is, or how ready they are to potentially be a parent. Like you're looking at this person in a different light. Say you're like in your mid to late 20s and you're wanting to potentially settle down with the Seven of Cups, right? But what's racking your brain and where you need to find more clarity is like, okay, do I see this person being the mother of my children if that's what I want later on down the line. Okay, so you're having to start, you're thinking ahead in that way. But just be very careful, because what's wrong with the situation, you have the Eight of Swords. You might be trying to do too much foreshadowing, okay, of events that might not happen, or you just have the wrong idea, is what I'm hearing about this person and something that you've seen. If they've only done or exhibited this behavior, or just done this particular thing just one time that you saw and you're just like, oh no, I'm not attracted to that, like that turns me off, then give it a while. Be open to addressing it as well. Closed mouths don't get fed. With this Eight of Swords energy, this is something that you're doing by yourself. You're self-sabotaging by not speaking up. So if you have a question about something, or it raises a flag, or it raises some concern for you with this Three of Wands energy, then have that conversation, just so you can see, like, okay, like, is this like really who you are, or were you having an off day? You know what I mean? Because everybody has off days. We can't be 100% all the time. We can't always put our best foot forward, as much as we may try. Also, working on concepts of perfection. We are not perfect beings. Everybody makes mistakes here. But if you continually make the same mistake, or you find yourself in a relationship with like a habitual liar, or somebody that just habitually keeps doing the same thing, then you're starting to see and realize that this person doesn't have any respect for you, and it's getting to a point where you are getting frustrated, you are potentially annoyed if you haven't already vocalized that, like, I don't want to say yelled, but definitely had some type of argument already, then that is on the table. So just be very careful as well with the way that you say things. Sometimes it's all about the tone that is used. I feel like what's wrong with some of you guys is you guys are tone deaf. You don't know that your voice is raised when it is. Like when you are yelling, people are perceiving that, or they hear that, like it's coming at them in all caps, and you may not intend it to be that way, or vice versa. So that's what's on the table. It's about the tone sometimes, you know? It's about the way that you say things and how you say things, not just what was said. Where you need more information, you guys have the Magician in reverse. I've never seen this card in reverse, but the Magician is Mercury's card. So we are in the shadow period of Mercury going retrograde, which has been coming up in everybody's reading in some way, shape, or form. Seven of Cups and the Four of Coins. Look at that. I feel like while Mercury's retrograde, you're taking another look at things that bring you stability or lack thereof, the functionality of things in your life, how organized things are in your life, how solid certain relationships and potentially friendships have been in your life. Because the Seven doesn't always have to be about things that are romantic in nature. But communication is going to be off with Mercury being retrograde, so just understand that in advance. Hopefully I get this video up in time, but I've been delayed on getting things out. Also, there will be certain delays in other areas of your life, so money will be delayed at this time. Anything that is transactional in nature that hasn't already been set up in the past few months, you know what I mean? So if you just started a new job last week, your first check, I know they say that you have the 2 weeks in the hole where you don't get paid, so you get paid the third week, but I feel like there's going to be delays with that money. So just hold on tight and try to make ends meet until then. I feel like you're already in that situation and you're in that bind, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how you're going to provide the next meal for yourself and potentially others that you also live with, or how you're going to be able to pay your rent on time. All things are in divine order, though. All things will work out in the end, but just understand there's going to be hiccups. If you plan to travel with this Three of Wands that's upright, or do anything that is more thrilling or pleasurable for you, be careful if this is like in matters of romance. If you're trying to dip and dab with other people, it's definitely going to be short-lived, and it will come back to bite you at the end of the day with Mercury retrograde now, okay? and that will be exposed then once it goes direct. Or if you've had inklings about other people and what they've been doing, like what they've been up to, any secrets that somebody may have been trying to hold from you, because the 8 is Scorpio's house, then that is going to be revealed, but most likely once Mercury goes direct here. What else with this? It's all about like the messenger and communication and travel. So just don't go anywhere or expect delays. Your car may break down, your computers may crash if you're doing some creative work here and you're having to meet deadlines. Don't procrastinate on them, because you will have some issues, okay? Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. That is what's coming through. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Just because you can slack off a little bit, don't do it. Try to work smarter than harder at this time, in this period that you're going through, okay? Best case scenario, where you end up, you have the Page of Cups. Now, if you're going through this phase where you're just questioning this potential relationship that you've been in, this long-term relationship with this 7 of Cups, again, understand that there are going to be some disagreements. Okay, there are going to be some flare-ups as far as attitudes are concerned. They're going to do things that are just going to piss you off more than normally. And some of you guys can't figure out why. That's what's wrong with the situation. But just understanding it's because of Mercury. It's to be expected. So don't make any rash decisions. But I feel like for some of you guys, you've already done this. Okay, and now you are you're feeling the repercussions of those actions and moving too fast before taking a pause and taking a breath, taking a few deep breaths, and really thinking from a more logical, rational standpoint before making such a permanent decision, potentially, right? Or something that you could feel guilty about later. We end with this Page of Cups, though. So this is all about like forgiveness and compassion and sympathy, okay? We are completely different people. But you guys, Geminis, you naturally have an understanding of like culture and media and individuals anyway. So no two people are ever going to react the same way about one thing or have the same thought form about one thing. And so you're having more compassion and understanding for that reason, or affording that to other people that may have done some things that just have, again, like turned you off in a way to them. For some of you guys, if you decide to part ways because you know that you're just not compatible with this person here, they're not going where you're going, they don't have ambition, they're comfortable with being a bum, you know, and not making much of their lives, you know, they make excuses for why they can't do certain things and why they can't meet you, you know, and be able to hold their weight. Just because you miss somebody doesn't mean they're meant to be in your life or that you have to reach out here, okay? So with that 7 of Cups, just be very careful if you start to think about the past or past relationships or people that you may have separated from, that you're wanting to reconnect with, just because you may be feeling lonely and you miss the routine. That's what you miss, okay? You miss the routine of always having somebody there or talking to that you may have had chemistry with at one point. The sex was great maybe at one point, but it never really went past there. They never really did anything more for you or more for the union, right? For the two of you guys together. Like, yeah, it's okay to miss people at this time, but be very careful also if people are trying to come back from the past at this time, if this is not you, because it will be very short-lived, right? That is what's real about the situation. It's going to be like a hit it and quit it type of ordeal. They just want to flirt and pass the time. You know, they need their ego to be boosted at this time, or stroked at this time, if you will. They just want to know that they still have it, or that you are still accessible to them. So show them just how much of an option you aren't. Also forgive yourself for what you did allow and how you may have potentially given your power away with this 8 of Swords and this Page of Cups and this Magician that's in reverse. Okay, forgive yourself for how silly you were and how open and vulnerable you were. Potentially how sympathetic you were. You tried to be there for somebody that could never be there for you out of the goodness or kindness of your heart. And they tried to use and abuse you for it. It's okay. You know, they will reap their own karma. So that's what I have for you guys. If this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up. Share this with your friends and family. Subscribe for more and book with me should you need it. But if I don't hear from you, then just do take care of yourself and your soul until you hear from me again, okay? Ciao.